we still on for that deal? Yes. Hold till 45, like I said yesterday. Yep, that's all good. Now what you going to do? Well, you took it all the way up to what? What's price at right now? 44? 44, 155? Is that what you took? What are you going to do now? I said hold till 45, bro. That's not the deal. Steve, come on, man. Look, look. I've got to go live, man. Can we just cut with this, please? Just hold out and then we make the transaction. Yes, I will. Don't worry about that. Yeah, everyone's all on the panic buying, apparently. Yeah. Well, you're not going to panic sell. You got too much of it to get rid of it so quick, my dear friend. Anyway, it's been a good day. I know, yeah, I know. Anyway, listen, I got to go, man. Yeah, I'll catch up with you in a bit. Yeah, that's cool. No worries. Take care of yourself, Steve. Yes. All right. I'm going. Get off the phone, bro. Bro, get off the phone. Anyways. Bitcoin. What a surprise. Did we see that coming? Of course, everybody saw it coming. You know, everyone knows, like Bitcoin to the moon, Bitcoin and all this now. Now we're getting 50K Bitcoin across the board. I ain't here to piss on your fire, ladies and gentlemen, but it stinks. It's too good to be true. Someone just said some really funny comment in the Discord, man. He goes, yep, Bitcoin retraced $1.50 and shifted out. Word on the street says that this is being, or should I say, is the result of panic buying. Investors are rushing to the charts right now and they're seeing the volatility that's hitting Bitcoin. Bitcoin has completely gone against everything. Now, there's only a few times it does this, but it always brings us back to reality. The last time Bitcoin went against the deviation of the dollar, it came back down. But back then, we didn't have the issues of ETFs. We didn't have anything to look forward to. It was just standard price action. Bitcoin makes the move up, and then it just come down straight after the dollar made its move. Now we're starting to see something interesting in the charts. Euro takes a smack to the downside. Ethereum and Bitcoin up. Dollar dominance is up. The S&P and the NASDAQ flat for the day and all over the place. Bets are calling for what? Interest rate reductions. So why is the market not reacting? Well, cryptocurrency right now is only behaving because of the ETF, and the SEC has put it out there that their deadline is January. So how far will Bitcoin go? We're going to be breaking down the charts. I'm going to be looking at EXO Charts as well because I'm seeing lackluster volume occurring. But whether the volume's there or not, if you're taking advantage of this flavorsome move, bank your profits. We're always going to be at the charts. Bitcoin will go up and Bitcoin will go down. Now, if everyone's panic buying, perfect time to reverse. Now, we've had news today, okay? Somewhat a little bit mixed across the board. We've had less job opportunities in the JOLTS job openings. And the economy is cooling off. And that's where it starts to get a bit interesting, because if the economy is cooling, it means that the Fed has to stop increasing the interest rates. So Fed rate cuts is on the table. December meeting next week, ladies and gentlemen, FOMC, that fire is going to be burning just as fire as this red shirt of mine. It's just a nice shirt, guys. There's no hidden agenda with it. It's not go red for the red vector candle. And then, of course, you know what the flavor is. Bitcoin then decides to drop, and yeah, you know what it is. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, enough of my chat. Let's get with the charts, man, and understand what on earth is going on. Here we go. So, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Jamaican shirt, are we going on holiday? Yeah. All right then, gang. It's been somewhat interesting. Let's cut with the BS. Let's get with the flavor. 44,236. Now, my weekly projection of Bitcoin has worked out reasonably well. So I sent this out on Sunday night. I wanted 42,736 from the 39 region, and we got 44,000. Happy days. We go to Ethereum. Where's Ethereum? Where's Ethereum? Ethereum. Target 1 was 2,345. We got 2,309, I think it was. Yeah, 2,311. Missed it by about $20, $35, $20 or so. Not bad. Not bad. But it's been a treacherous play. This spiking us up and down. But it's looking like it's fueled by fear. That's the problem we've got, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for my holders, what can I say to you? Blue vector candle at the highest point. This needs to turn into a green vector. It's got an hour and 50 minutes to do that. It must turn into a green vector by principle of the hybrid, because then that would suggest that we've got continuation. Whenever we see a blue vector candle, we usually assume that it's going to be a turn point for the charts. The last time we saw that blue vector at the top side of the move, we saw this play right here. It rolls over. Doesn't count when it's here, and it doesn't count when it's here, even though it did roll over from that point. You want to see the blue vectors appearing as the move is moving up, okay? Going into previous areas like so, okay? You want to see it breaking previous zones. Right now, Bitcoin isn't really breaking anything but just price discovery as such. It's not all-time high, but it's just discovering price. Look left. We marked these areas only yesterday. Bitcoin has the capacity to clear that. We spoke about it last night in the live, okay? We are in vector candle recovery region. We've cleared out all the vectors inside of this range right now. This is the last vector candle that Bitcoin has until it starts really gunning for this liquidity to the top side right here, which sits at, well, let me just be precise with that. You've got the red vector candle that sits at 50,718. If you were to simply just buy Bitcoin and hold it, and Bitcoin sustains this move to the upside, then yes, Bitcoin will clear that range. But this is all on hype. No ETF. We've got a month until the supposed approval of the ETF. They are feeding this move to the upside non-stop. What do I mean? Here we go. SEC pushes deadline to decide on Grayscale spot Ethereum ETF. This is important, okay? Because there is already an Ethereum ETF by Grayscale. They already released that bad boy. Look, here it is right now. EEHH, well, EETF, whatever it is. This is ProShares one, okay? And there's already that ETF, and it's doing really well, okay? Remember, when an ETF is released, wait a week, let it absorb, and then you'll start seeing the true flavor. Go back in the lives, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now this bad boy has got strength, okay? Happy days. Now, with that being said, the problem that I've got is this comment here, okay? They've got till January 2024 to effectively authorize this, or they'll extend the deadline again. And they are well within their right to do so. So let's just put things together. Are we in the idea that Bitcoin is rallying because of this ETF hype? Yeah, if we're all in acceptance of that, okay? Now, why can we not be accepted, or why can we not accept the idea that this rally is going to continue to the upside and then they extend the deadline yet again and then just makes people start having a little bit of pessimism about the approval of it? They keep moving the goalposts. How far will Bitcoin keep moving up? It's not sustainable, okay? Although it can be parabolic because Bitcoin's behavior today, or if we actually go back into the chart, is behaving like it's been listed on PancakeSwap for the first time, okay? This is sell liquidity. Now, the question on our minds is, right, who is leading this rally? Well, look, let's just put things into perspective. Look at this, all right? This is what's got my attention with each of these moves to the upside. Now, if you go on even on higher time frames, you're going to have a clearer outlook on it. Look at this. So you might not be able to see it. Let me show you the picture that I shared into the list of chords. Check this out, right? So this is the 15-minute time frame on Bitcoin. If you look to the left, you can see that we have got, if you can see, let me move it up a little bit. Yeah. All right. So look at that. All right. Right here, you got 12%, 5%, 8%, 10%. But look at the volume. Yeah. You've got 16K, 13, 25, 16, 34, 85, 44. That's on the move up. That's market maker. Retail stepping in. Look at this volume. 14, 13, 14, 8, 5, and 15. Let's go and have a look at it now. We've got 5, 20, but the reason it's 20 is because they snapped it up to only pull it back down. So that would only mean that there was a lot of, in principle, buying happening in the move to the downside. You only need to look at what's going on in the wick. Look, see the wick? You got people that are being sold to, and there are people that are buying it on the way back down again, okay? And you can see the deltas coming in, negative deltas, and then they shift back up again, all right? Next candle moves up. Cool. So the idea is that we really need to see volume of this capacity right here in the dark blue to start coming in right now to justify this move. Otherwise, this move is now being sustained by retail, and that's the problem that we've got, okay? Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, I've heard about Capo. I've heard about him. He is adamant that Bitcoin's going to just collapse, okay? But let's just look at how Bitcoin's moving right now. Now, look, I'm going to give you both sides of the story, all right? If you don't like it, don't be surprised when you get caught off guard. Do you know what? I told you so. It's probably one of the most irritating things on earth. But there is an exception. If the person's right and got a point, it's even worse, you know? But we're going into the told you so scenario right now with Bitcoin. The told you so's, it's going up. The told you so's, it's going to go down. And that's what we've got right now, this tug of war with whether it's going to continue higher, whether it's going to come back down again. I mean, it's been... Bitcoin's move is sustained by fear. Bitcoin's rise is still dominated by anticipation for a spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. Market observers overwhelmingly expecting an approval by the US Securities Exchange in early January. Crypto investment service provider Matrixport noted in Monday report that the elevated levels of Bitcoin perpetual futures premium versus the spot price suggests that traders rushed into Bitcoin driven by fear of missing out on the rally. Okay, so let's go back into this area here. What do we have? We have got this wild volume happening, or should I say movement, okay? And check this out. It's the first time I've seen this. 4.4 billion on longs at 43,500. 5.12 billion at 43,366. Let's go into the liquidations of Bitcoin. This is where it gets interesting. Let's see how many people are buying right now. Those shorts are being eaten alive. Oh. What have we got? Top side, $57 million worth of longs opened at 44,243. Even worse, 36 million at 44,116. We got a couple of shorts coming into play. There are more longs. Like, ladies and gentlemen, we actually run this chart again and zoom out. Oh my days. We've got to understand that this can only happen if money is being borrowed. Do we understand that? What's open interest? Here we go. Right. Where's my open interest gang? Get off, bro. Here we are. all of these shorts. Now, what's good about EXO Charts is it tells you, okay, the differences between open interest. So if price is up and open interest is up, that means there's new longs coming in. If price is down and open interest is down, that means long covering, okay? Now, price is down, open interest up, that means new shorts are coming in. And if price is up and open interest is down, short covering. So let's just understand what had happened with this candlestick right here with 83,000. What was the price? Well, it was actually this candlestick right here with the move to the upside. So what has happened? Price is up, open interest is down, long covering. Okay, sorry, price is up, open interest down, short covering. Okay, so people are getting liquidated. All right, they've just smacked those guys right there. Okay, now we've got this sideways price action happening. Right now, watch this. If Bitcoin, okay, is going to sustain this move to the upside, there needs to be open interest coming in with people actually going long and borrowing money. What do we mean by borrowing money? Because market maker, ladies and gentlemen, does the following. Some of the OGs will remember this. You got your good old boy retail trader right here. You got Binance or Bybit or MEXC right there. And then you've also got Mr. Market Maker right here. So Steve comes along with his friend and says, yo, bro, let's buy Bitcoin at $44,143 because it's going up. All right, then. So he pumps that order over to Binance. Binance then says, no qualms. What's your leverage? And he says, yeah, I'm going 100x, my friend. Yeah, baby, 100x. Okay, cool. That order gets pinged to Mr. Market Maker. Market Maker's like, we got a 100x leverage trader. Okay, then, so let's just ping this order straight back to Binance, back to Mr. Retail Trader, and give him his long, and we will build our short. Where are you getting your profit from, ladies and gentlemen? I'm only talking about this for anybody new to the live. Your profit is market maker's liquidity. It's not Binance. Binance is the exchange. Binance has an obligation to make sure market makers' pockets are lined. He provides the customer then gives the money. Binance then links market maker to the money. Market maker gives the opposite and links it back to retail trader. So your $100 profit is market makers negative. It's a zero-sum game. Someone has to lose for someone to win. Okay? So if I say to you, take profit, you're taking from the market maker. And there's a little bit of a satisfaction there because his pockets are unlimited. The pools of liquidity are very, very deep. But he does carry risk. And he's got to make sure that he moves price to a specific area where it sits in line with what his whole objective is. So then I say to you, you've been borrowing money with leverage. All of this here is money by Mr. Market Maker because you cannot open a leverage trade without liquidity on the opposite side. So we then go back into this flavor right here. $5.12 billion worth of longs have been opened or transacted right on the futures markets. Whose money is it? It's like for like. Now, some people will challenge me and be like, that's not possible. It's all of that stuff. Go read the papers, man. Go read what market makers are. They have an obligation to make sure that there is a smooth, cool runnings in the charts so you can instantly buy and instantly sell. If you didn't have Mr. Market Maker, you would have an illiquid market and you'll be witnessing assets across the board moving like stable coins when they get depegged. Simple as, like XRP. No stab at XRP. I'm just saying. Here we go. It's going. Bitcoin's going. It will not stop. It won't stop because I've got an agreement with Steve. I told you. I said to him, you get rid of it at 45. All right, let's see if Steve's in the charts. Look at Bookmap. Bitcoin ain't going to no moon, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Bitcoin is going beyond galaxies. Forget the moon. The moon is what they can do by Tuesday morning. All right? At the start of the week. The moon is basic, man. let's have a look at what we've got. Here we go. So earlier today in the live stream, we were talking about the 44,500. Off it goes. Okay, well, 43,500, it took that range. Now we've got this liquidity at 45,000, which sits at 284 Bitcoin orders, and at 46, we've got 917. Remember what I said, okay? When we've got these orders here, we want to make sure that they are not spoofs or fake orders, just to encourage people to step in so that they can then pull it out, all right? And then the market drops because they're like, oh my God, it's not there anymore. I've got no one to sell into. Oh, I better get rid of that position. What we're witnessing right now, ladies and gentlemen, is if we even zoom out a little bit more, if there's any more interest above and there's not much happening in terms of interest, 46 is coming into play. Now, listen, if Bitcoin can surpass the 45,000, and with the capacity of this move, it's only $800, okay? It's not that far away. But we'll be going into vector candle recovery points, so this is very important for you, all right? Quickly going over into EXO Charts to put things into perspective. Right. Now, this is the 15-minute time frame. We've got imbalances down here. 8%, so we've got 18,000 on the volume. That's good news for us, okay? But like we said, if this the fuel of this move is sustained by people missing out, then they're going to keep marking Bitcoin up. And even people are just saying, like, it's not right. It doesn't make sense. How can it be so parabolic? We haven't really had any news. All it's doing is just pushing deadlines and making things... We've got no confirmation. There's nothing to say. Yes, all we know is the ETF is going to be inevitable. Fine. We've got a halving round the corner. Like, come on. It doesn't make sense. Okay? Wall Street ends mixed after job openings hint at cooling economy. But that doesn't matter because it means that interest rates are going to drop. Look what happened today. JOLTS job openings, 8.73. We've got tomorrow ADP non-farm employment change. That's going to be game-changing for us because if there is more jobs available and the JOLTS comes in and says there isn't, well, we know that reading right there is going to get changed and it's not going to be high impact anymore because it's pointless. Big day tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go and have a look at other assets aside Bitcoin. Hold on. Ethereum. Look at that bad boy. Just nice sweep to the upside on the daily time frame, no retraces, and I've said to you before, if the 5 and 13 EMA are not invalidated, you have no reason to get rid of anything. Take profits, but there's no reason for you to get rid of anything, okay? XRP, where we at? How is this guy down? Like, come on. How is this coin down? It just stinks. Maybe this could be what it looks like in the future. I mean, look, lunacy, right, okay, that you expect that to come down. That was up 37% yesterday. Come on, bruv. Of course it's going to be marking lower, okay? What we've got here is the dollar dominance, and we've got one more level for me to see the USDT chart come into play, which is the 4.49 zone. We wanted the 6.14. We came and got that move, okay? This is the only last bit area right here where Bitcoin, in principle, if USDT comes down to here, that means people are buying Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, then that will be a phenomenal thing. Bitcoin will be gone beyond 50K, okay? Way beyond 50K, and that will be interesting. Very interesting. Solanage. What's Solana done today? Drawings all over the place. It's still holding out. It's been making the move up to come down, consolidate. Again, Bitcoin up 5.5%. Ethereum up 1.6%, which is actually lower than what it was today. I mean, it's all Bitcoin. That's what it is. Bitcoin dominance chart. Hold on a second. Look at that. Bitcoin dominance 55%, ladies and gentlemen, and climbing on the daily. Like, there is no such, I mean, guys, like, Qatar, yeah, I heard about this. Qatar's buying Bitcoin, about 500 billion. Well, that is a fraction of what we're expecting from the ETF. Yeah? But that alone is awesome. But I'm always going to be saying to myself, why is it moving so aggressively when it's just not doing the right thing? Again, it's a news play, and we know what news plays are like. Let the news about the ETF die down a little bit. Then we'll know exactly where we stand. Going over into the dollar dominance chart itself, this bad boy is finding support inside of this range, a very important range for dollar right now, okay? Very important zone with the prospect of it going up to this vector candle region. At some point, Bitcoin should be following the dollar, which means dollar up, Bitcoin down, okay? But this is logically what we want to see from Bitcoin. Coming away from the weight of centralized finance, okay? Now, something to put into perspective. Bonds are moving up. Yields are moving down, okay? So that's a good sign, but it kind of isn't. Because if bonds are moving up, the NASDAQ and the S&P should be doing the same, but they're not. Because that means investors are now seeking safety. They don't want risk anymore. It's like they're not interested in risk. It's like they want, okay, I'll put a little bit of risk down. I'm going to go to the bonds. All right. At least I know I can generate a little return rather than be involved in the NASDAQ, given that the NASDAQ and the assets across the board are up around 30%, as we spoke about earlier on today. Okay. So investors are going to start taking some profits. Like I said to you, Bitcoin needs to stay as high as it can. Now, people are saying Bitcoin's going to drop down to 31. Bitcoin's going to go down to 32. All right. And this is what it needs. It needs to go to 40,000 and then drop. Okay. No, it needs to go to 42,000 and then drop. No, hold on. It needs to go to 44,000 and then drop. Sorry. 45,000 then drop. Nah, let's go to 51,000 and then drop. Sorry. 62,000 and then drop. This is what we are seeing. Okay. This is the logic of what's going on. It's retail therapy. That's what this is. It's moving up. Everyone is pumped right now. Money is being borrowed, like I said to you all. Okay? This money needs to come back. They bring it back down. Doesn't have to completely swipe the whole zone. This is only up until 36,000. From this price point of 44 down to 36. 8K. Right? That's not that far. But there's a shoe bag of money inside of this area, and we need to understand that. Now, I'm not here to just scare you out of buying. Go and buy. Go on then. Look, buy. It's up, up. It's going up. But you all understand, I hope you all understand the difference between spot and futures. If futures markets are leading the increase in price, that's bad news. It has to be spot. It has to be there. Not someone's idea of where they think it's going to go, because once it goes there, they're taking their money. You want someone to buy on spot and be like, I don't care what anyone says. It's going up. And we've obviously seen articles in the past that have discussed that. Okay, then. Here we go. Let me just have a look at this. How many of you in the live stream? Ladies and gentlemen, 2,029 of you people. Mad love and respect to every single one of you being so patient with my antics and my madness. Be sure to like the stream, man. If we can get 2,000 likes, I only asked for 1,000, but 2,000 likes will be nice. And then I'll do a deep dive on the altcoins. How about that? Now, I really will do a deep dive on the altcoins. Okay? And I'll start putting them into the watch lists and what have you, and we'll talk about them all week. But yeah, if we can get 2,000 likes, I'll give you your altcoins. I deep dive. I really deep dive. We've just had, did you just see that order up there? It turned red, then it disappeared, right? An order's been placed and cancelled. Hold on. Did you see that? Did anyone see that? Oh, never mind. I thought that 935 was at the 45,000 and it got removed. So no, it's still there. 935, 45,000, 46,000. It's still there. Okay. Delta bubbles. As we said earlier on today, the idea is that someone asked the question about how can you determine the reversals and what have you. Well, from that delta bubble over here, okay, and then these moves to the upside effectively were going to lead a move higher because that's where they're trapping people, all right? Now they've surpassed that range. Look, right, 2,926 Bitcoin. Next one, to 1,518 Bitcoin. Next one. 2,560 Bitcoin. Next one. For 2,142 Bitcoin. Like, guys, there's a lot of Bitcoin being purchased right now. Okay. And like I said to you all, the imbalance is at limit buys right now, 24%, which means that price is coming down. Only by, I mean, Bitcoin's going to retrace probably about 35 cents and then continue to about 49,000. That's what Bitcoin's like. My guy, $1.50. Okay. But what's the low of the coming correction in your opinion? What's the low? Explain who Mr. Market Maker is made up of, please. Okay, you want to know who the market maker is? All you need to do is just go over to the Traders Reality website. There's a free course there. And the first element of the course itself, there's a paid one, but that's only for people that want to scalp. But I recommend you do the breaking down the hybrid system. And before anybody asks, you have to become a bronze member. It's free to become a member. You'll come to this part of the website. It will play this video for you. But if you don't have a bronze membership, you won't get access to the following thing. Here we go. So the first video on the website with the market, with the actual of the course, is unveiling the titans of finance, a deep dive into the market makers, okay? And then we've got effectively a PDF right here, ladies and gentlemen. We click that bad boy, we open it up right here, and then you basically get all this information right here about market makers and everything. This is all me typing it all up and just letting you know about the strategies as well. Now, this will help you out, all right? Now, if you've got that, oh, wait, what's going on? Yeah. Alongside that, you get the patterns, okay? Once you've done this, all right, and you want to expand on it a bit more, you only take the scalping course if you understand this free course. The scalping course takes 1,500 videos, 4,500 posts off Patreon, 75 masterclasses, and puts it into a 4-hour course, okay? Saving you time. You don't want to do that course, go through everything else. This was done by demand. But there's no point in taking it if you do not take this free course because it won't make sense to you. Start here, okay? Happy days. TradersReality.com. So now to the question of the gentleman. What's my... Go bronze or go home? I like that comment. What's my correction on Bitcoin? Events. There are events coming up, okay? Now, stick with me on this one, but I always have to think of this when it comes to the marketplace. Let's look at Coinbase today, right? We know Coinbase is going to be effectively the stock market's go-to when it comes to cryptocurrency. That is it, okay? It's the only place you can really get involved with cryptocurrency. Of course, with the exception of Riot platforms like here, and then you've got Mara as well. These are other avenues. Here we go. AJB. Wait, before I go on. Recession thoughts, considering the indicators pointing towards it. Yield curve, etc. Could the market makers push it high to sell their bags and then drop it? Market makers only sell at the high. Correct. So look, this is what you've got to understand, okay? If market maker has been borrowing all this money to the exchanges, then there is a good chance that they're going to want to make a return on that exchange. Okay, so let's just put this up here just to keep an eye on this liquidity with Bitcoin. Okay, they're going to want to make a return on this, but they have to keep on fueling this move because they've got an obligation. They are liquidity providers. They can't just say, sorry, we're not going to provide liquidity anymore. But what we can do is we can start changing the way price moves, because then they will trigger other algorithms and start allowing the liquidity to start being released. Remember, their money is being locked as it's moving up. It's futures. There is more in futures than there is in the spot market, okay? So if market maker, or should I say, if people are trading with leverage, okay, then they need to borrow money, and they can only get that from market maker, right? So, recessions, yield curves, the market trading. You want the brutal truth. That's trading. And if you have any emotion tied to trading, it's not going to last very long. We have to be rational. We cannot be irrational. Okay? If this move has been engineered for a surprise reading on the non-farm employment rate, okay, then we will know that come Friday, we're going to see a bloodbath across the board. What do I mean? That's not to scare you. Because I could turn around and say, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, 55K by Friday. And everyone's just going along about their day. They don't give a shit. They're just more concerned about 55K by Friday. They get the self-fulfilling prophecies about, oh, what price can Bitcoin end up? They see one comment that says 100K. Well, if we're at 45 now, then of course I'm going to hold it to 100K. You know, that's what they do. But we've got too many events coming up, ladies and gentlemen. You've got FOMC next week. You've got non-farm employment rate this week. Unemployment rate right now coming on to Friday. If the unemployment rate does not come in at 3.9 and it comes in lower, we've got a problem. If the non-farm employment change comes in and shows more people in work and it gives us a surprise reading, don't worry, they can give us a surprise reading. They projected last time, previous reading was 227, okay? And they expected it to be lower and it came in at 336,000. What on earth is going on there? So the data is sporadic. It's not consistent. And that's what the Fed's concerned about. They need people to be broke. They need people to be unemployed. It needs to be at 6% for them to say, yeah, you know what? Let's get the party started. So Friday is going to be a deciding day. This move to the upside by the principle of the hybrid system does show Bitcoin is so extended to the upside. You can take your parabolics and do whatever you need to do with them. But the move is not consistent and it's not sustainable. There's no news to make Bitcoin move this aggressive. It's hearsay. We've had the same boring-ass news about the SEC and Ethereum and Bitcoin ETF. It's not changing, ladies and gentlemen. We either get an ETF approval or not. But this is what's fueling people. So when you're coming to the charts, you're using that information. You're saying, okay, a lot of people are borrowing money. Right. If they're borrowing money, that means someone is giving that money. Someone's going to want to make a return on that money. 1.64 billion, 5 billion right here. Let's go and look now. Volume starting to taper off a little bit, okay? And we're not really seeing that much flavor, but Bitcoin has done well, and it's gained aggressively today, 5%, and it hasn't stopped, okay? Now, this reminds me of Bitcoin last time, or Ethereum, when they were riding that 5 and 13 EMA non-stop, and it kept going and going and going. But we got too many events. There's too many events that could compromise this, ladies and gentlemen, okay? If you're going to be taking profits, quite frankly, what you need to do you want these altcoins or not? Do we want the altcoins? Altcoins, 2,000 likes, I'll get you the altcoins, ladies and gentlemen. Green Vector has appeared. That's good news. Right. To all the holders, if you are holders in the channel, okay, just type 1 in the chat. How many holders do we have? No trading, just holders. The guys who are DCA, the guys who are, I'm not interested in the guys that are DCA and trade. I just want to know anyone that does DCA in Bitcoin, okay? Because you're going to use these points of interest in the chart, which will suggest the following story, okay? DCA guys, okay, cool. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, okay? Yes, listen, Matthew Alberts, comment. Tino, you're missing the point. Bitcoin is different, bro. A time will come when Bitcoin just rips to the upside. I agree with you, brother. But if Bitcoin reacts to news, only thing we need is bad news. We need good news, we need shocking news, and Bitcoin just keeps going. That's the problem that I've got, is it's fueled by news, speculation, hype, fear of missing out. Bitcoin should be doing this as standard. It has to keep doing it, okay? If the news about the ETF comes out and says it's delayed and they don't approve it, why should Bitcoin go down? When Bitcoin continues to go up, even if the ETF is not approved, then we will agree to disagree that Bitcoin is different. But right now, it's doing its own thing. And we've got too many events that are coming to fruition, which could compromise it. All I'm saying to you, and I'm going to say to the guys who are DCA right now, all right? There are key levels for you to monitor. First things first, you want to go onto the weekly time frame, Okay. Now, a rally like this on the weekly, there's nothing wrong with it. It's the weekly time frame, right? When you see moves like this, it's no different to seeing Bitcoin being extended on the 1 hour time frame to the upside and hits its ADR, all right, which is the average daily range. Again, go check out the course. You'll understand what that term means, okay? It's a free course. Do it. Now we're heading into what would be deemed as supply by conventional trading wisdom, okay? But this, as supply, is where market maker in principle started to offload his longs, or should I say offload the shorts and start realizing his longs to the downside to only bring it back up again. He's coming back into the same spot, okay? If we know he's done with the business, this is where Bitcoin should be turning, okay? If it turns from this point, right, Bitcoin has this following level. Now, look, I'm going to be straight with you, all right? 32,684 is the sweet spot because we've had effectively market maker, market maker, market maker, retail. Okay? That's what we've got. Now, if I just, no, I'm not going to do that because it won't come up the same. But if this is going to be a genuine move, this candlestick needs to turn green by logic of the hybrid system. If it doesn't turn green, I'm going to be a little bit concerned about it, okay? Because then I can then assume the same logic and take midpoint of that candlestick and say that this is an area of support. So for the holders, these are your two areas, hypothetically, if this turns green, right? Hypothetically, this would be an area to load up on Bitcoin. Why? Because by the time Bitcoin comes down, because it's not stopped going up for the what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Let's jump forward 6 weeks, okay? That takes us way into January, ladies and gentlemen. It's Christmas round the corner, man. That takes us into January, which is this supposed deadline. If Bitcoin aggressively drops down from now, okay, I would have more confidence that Bitcoin from the retrace back down will effectively move back up to clear out this red vector candle at the 57 zone. It's quite disturbing given that all projections that are coming out now for Bitcoin are saying it whilst Bitcoin is making a wild move to the upside. Again, I could be wrong and Bitcoin just goes and then good old Matthew turns around and says Bitcoin is different. You're right. But we know fuck all. Okay? No one knows anything. And the sooner you come to accept that, the easier the game of trading is going to be. Again, think of it rationally. Bitcoin has now made a good move to the upside. I got zone 1 at 42,261 where I could be taking some profits if it actually comes back down to that point and then get ready for a load up if it does decide to drop from that point. Okay? If you're going to ride the idea of Bitcoin still going up from here, and you have yourself a certain amount of money in Bitcoin or some capital, okay? Do the Jesse Livermore flip, ladies and gentlemen, okay? 20% in, okay? See how it works. Once you've realized a bit of a profit, take some of it off. Take 10% off. Now you've got more capital behind you, okay? Now, whilst that's working capital right there, then put another 20% in. Okay, on the retraces. You got some profits, take some off. Take 10% off it, whatever. You've got working capital. Money still being earned as it's going higher, and you're taking off risk and paying yourself at the same time and loading up the bag. Again, another 20%. Do the same thing. Load up, take 10% profits. You're building yourself an extra 30% of capital from the profits from the move that you're actually riding in. Then, when you are sustained with it and you get a retrace and you've covered the idea of an ETF, we've had the Bitcoin halving, you are now left with 40%. That's when you effectively put the money into the trade and let it run. Start closing off these profits as it's going up. You're effectively now moving your portfolio. So originally you start with 60% of the amount. You're taking profits, cover about 30% off, like take off 30%. I'm just putting numbers here right now, okay? Just to get you to understand the percentages of your capital. The whole goal is to end up with the 60%. okay? And keep repeating this. This is the Jesse Livermore flip, okay? Might sound confusing, but that's on the premise that Bitcoin continues to move up when it retraces. Because if we're going to 60, 70, or 80, or 100K, if we're going to 500,000, all right? 100% portfolio, shove it in, all right? That's what Bitcoin is being sold on, all right? There are many flaws with Bitcoin, but it's sold on the idea of how high it can go. It's sold as a futures contract, all right? The futures markets will always be the problem. That's the truth. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, hold on. We got something here from Crypto Sam. Unless this run-up is being caused by a USDT company buying up Bitcoin as a hedge, as the SEC are reopening their books on the USDT craziness, dumping USDT for the real asset before the SEC shaft. Now you start. Look, I'm not going to get into the USDT discussion, okay? Again, you've got to make the distinction, all right? You can either put your whole bag in Bitcoin and hope that it just keeps on going up. We've passed pre-Terra Luna levels. We've passed FTX levels, okay? So Bitcoin's doing okay, but it's all news-based. It's good news, good news, good news, good news, okay? The good news variance is working in our favor, but variance goes up and variance goes down, okay? So just be very careful with it. Now, let's have a look. You know what? You guys have done me a good number there. Thank you so much. Let's get with the altcoins, ladies and gentlemen. Give me, look, I'm going to start off with my altcoins. Some of them I hold. Some of them you can clearly tell that I don't hold because they don't even have a price on them, okay? Please be conservative and provide me with a list of your coins. Don't smack the chat. Please don't do, trigger happy and with the same coin. You're all entitled to one coin each. That's 2,000 coins that can hit the engagement on the chat. So at least someone might have a question that I might want to read and be like, yo, bro. But then if I'm saying Cadena, Casper, fucking Bepe coin, Gala, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Bonk. These coins, man. All right, then. So here's the flavor, ladies and gentlemen. Deep dive into the altcoins right now, okay? I'm seeing a lot of interest with Super, okay? And that is a problem right there. So let's go into the 4-hour time frame for Super. Now, Super is going to be coming down because of how extended it is to the upside, okay? Oh, my God. Please, ladies and gentlemen. Bonk. Yes, I'll look at Bonk, okay? Crow, Ada. Right, I'm just going to get with it. Keep on putting them because I'm going to look to the left and I'm going to be paying attention to it. You guys are absolutely mad as hell, but God bless you all. Thank you. Big time. I'm going to look at big time. Don't worry, Zach. Here we go. So Super's going to look to come back down, all right? Because there's just too much money that's gone in. Bitcoin dominance has just gone to the bloody roof, okay? So we're going to be seeing some profit taking on altcoins. Now, these are the ones that I expect the profit taking to be occurring on, okay? So 64 cents right now, 64.95. We're going to be looking at going into the vectors. What I suggest you all do with every single altcoin that you are looking at, make sure you're taking on the 4-hour time frame, get the vector candle from the top end of the wick going into the end of it, and mark off the vector candles with a Fibonacci and highlight these areas as points of interest in the chart. You're either going to take longs or short towards them, because if the rally to the upside across the board is going to be sustained, then they will be retracing, continuing out again. Okay, that's Super for you. Now let's just go and have a look at EGLD. Flavor some right there. Nice little movement up, consolidating sideways, not really clearing out the ranges, which is a bit of a cause for concern for me. Okay, Solana's coming into play right now. We spoke about Solana, but I'm expecting Solana to be coming down anyway. So that was a projection from earlier on today. So we'll be waiting for that. Render token. Here we go. Now, Render token has now made the move to the upside. And one key aspect to it is the fact that the violet vector candle at the top side of this move right here, okay, has now been recovered. Look, this is the importance of these vector candle midpoints. Look at them. They respect them. They might go over them a little bit, but you've got to consider the asset that you're actually trading. So the little move to the upside right there, reversal from that point. Down it goes. Okay, cool. So make sure you're aware of that. Now let's have a look at you guys, what you're saying in the chat. All right, then. So the first coin that I'm seeing, lady. Here we go. Lady USDT. Right, what we got? I hate these buy bits and all that. Okay, cool. 4-hour time frame. We got vector candles coming into play right now on Lady. Bit of a wild asset, man. What the Come on, how many zeros, man? Please, trade some decent coins, ladies and gentlemen. Crow. Chronos, going crypto.com again. It's coming down, all right? So we've got a bit of a problem. And Crow's been doing this flavor, all right? So really, I really want to be seeing Crow sustaining itself within this range right here, because on the higher time frames, this bad boy is showing me we got some vectors down below right here. So just be very cautious, because they're wicking up, coming down, wicking up, coming down. They're not being able to sustain the range to the upside on this zone, okay? FTM, USDT, let's have a look. What have we got? Binance here. Okay, Phantom. Phantom token's doing okay. And on the 4-hour time frame, guys, what you really want to be focusing on is, of course, the totals chart. Let's go to the totals chart for the altcoins only. And what did we say to you all yesterday about the 50 EMA on the 1-hour time frame with the totals chart? Okay, so what have we got? Now, every single one of you, go on to the 11-hour time frame. And you might think, what an obscure time frame to be considering. Well, look, it's half of the day, all right? And it's an hour before the half. But I don't really care about that. I care about the vectors. The vectors on each time frame is going to give you a profile of really what's going on inside of that range. So if you go from the 11-hour, we know that's a blue vector candle. Okay, then cool. Here's a little bit of a lesson. Blue vector candle, that says that's the midpoint right there. Blue vector candle, that says that is the midpoint of the market cap, 422 billion, okay? That means there are altcoins right now that have made the move to the upside on the 11-hour time frame with a blue vector candle that could be present. Now, let's understand if this blue vector candle really does have the support behind it. You drop down a time frame. What do we see? Blue vector still. Red vector, white candle, red vector, green vector. What have we got here? Cluster of vectors. Let's keep going. 9-hour chart. What do we see? Still the same story, but now we're seeing more of the red vector coming into play, okay? 8-hour chart. What do we see? Blue vector, violet, blue, red, green. Okay, cool. 7-hour time frame. What do we have? Okay, so the 11-hour time frame says that that's a blue vector candle. So they've effectively, if we look at that, 7 hours right there, 4 hours previously, or 4 hours after it became this, it's giving me a different profile of what is actually going on. How well is the blue vector? Is it a candlestick that's been designed to mark price up to come down, or is it a candlestick that's been designed to move price out? Okay, go down another time frame, 6-hour chart. What do we see? 2 violet vector candles. That's good news. That tells me that the selling hasn't been actually aggressive inside of this drop to the downside, which has been followed by this big candlestick move to the upside. Okay, that's good news. 5-hour chart. What do we see? All right, so we see violet vector candles, no clear green vector candles pushing the move up. All right, I'm starting to see a little bit of a difference here. 4-hour time frame. What have I got? Well, it looks like there's no more vectors inside of this range. So now I'm profiling the vectors and understanding that that blue vector candle on the 11-hour time frame could be misleading. I'm now looking at the odds of a retrace back down towards the midpoint of the vector candle, which is the $422 billion market cap. I would believe that that could be the point that could then trigger the rest of the altcoins to do the rise, the retrace, continuation out. It's making sense of the behavior of buying and selling by clusters of vector candles. These aren't just pretty candlesticks. They are suggesting that the activity of the market maker is present inside of this zone. Okay? And you want to know how present it is. Are we all on the same page? This is something you need to do. Take the midpoint of the vector candle, take the top side of the candlestick, go back down again, and you can see they're bouncing from that range right there, fully recovering that violet vector candle to the T twice. So that's going to be a bit of a problem for me. Let me just quickly go back into Bitcoin itself. Here we go. Bitcoin 5.5%, still going on the 11-hour time frame. All right, so all of you do this right now with Bitcoin. Take the top side of the candlestick, go back down into it. Happy days. That's your point of support on Bitcoin on the 11-hour time frame. Going into the 1-hour chart, what have we got? Still going up, 44,308. Let me just quickly check this out. Bitcoin right now, still going for that 45. It's only $800, but they should be going for the 45, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, if this move is going to be sustained. Okay? Tino went 8K. When we get close to it, bro, that's how it works. When we get close to it. I'm not going to look at 8K now. It's 44,000. You need to give yourself a little bit of a wibble. Like, it's 44,000, bro. Like, we don't need to worry about that until we need to worry about it. You know, that's the logic right there. Let me just bring up EXO Charts for a split second. Here we go. All right, then. So starting to see on the time frame, 30-minute time frame, we've seen a lot of people picking up Bitcoin on this. So they're selling down into the VWAP in the new session, but we've got some imbalances down here, so we need to be very careful with that. Huge imbalance at 43,550. It's now at 44,265. Yeah, so imbalance down there at the daily point of control. Just got to be careful with this range, man. Be very careful. It is an imbalance, so it's good to be aware of that range. And if this move is going to sustain itself, because everybody is just running onto this move right now. Everybody, which is why they could actually mark it up a little bit more. What we're looking for is for them to stop doing this. Those of you using EXO Charts will understand. Okay. What else have we got? Tino, Coinbase 45K. Tino, Coinbase had 45K already. What's going on with Coinbase? All right, listen. Each exchange is going to be pricing it differently. All right. That's the one thing you've got to understand. They will price it differently. It will hit 45K one place. It will hit 52K somewhere else. You know, it all depends on what that exchange is about in terms of liquidity. So don't worry too much about that. Okay. Tino, Capo asking when 12K. Capo, nah, he ain't asking me nothing. You know, they wicked it to 45K. Yeah, that's just it. Wibble, yeah. I meant to say wobble, but it ended up being wibble. Okay, then. Cool. Let me just quickly go and have a look at Dogecoin because people are talking about that bad boy. 1 hour time frame. Again, we've got waves. We've got one retraced continuation pump up, but it's I don't trust it. Sorry. Whether you like to hear it or not. If XRP ain't doing nothing, okay, and Bitcoin's making a 5% move to the upside, you got BNB doing zilch. Okay, Bitcoin dominance is pretty high, but you just need to make sure that you're taking profits on this move, ladies and gentlemen. Solana moving down. Euro coming back up. We had a nice play with Euro today. It was very tricky, but we had itemized the move. We expected Euro to come down and hit our targets. They did the stop run up, and then they come back down. I had the stop run zone up here. They came into this range and then reversed it back down again. Gold did the same thing, but I'll be talking about that with the platinum guys very, very shortly. I've got to get a video out to those guys to prepare them for what's going to happen next. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for passing through to tonight's live stream. Honestly, God bless you all. Thank you for liking the stream, 2,000 likes. I will be checking in with you all tomorrow because we got the flavor of the news with the ADP. All right? Take care of yourselves, gang. Mad love and respect. Peace.